12 underrated islands you can actually afford to live on. Most people searching for affordable places to live abroad end up with the same short list. Portugal. Spain. Maybe Thailand if they're feeling adventurous. And those are all reasonable choices. But the conversation almost always stays on the mainland. Islands get dismissed as tourist traps, overpriced beach resorts, or logistical nightmares. The assumption is that if a place has palm trees and ocean views, it must cost a fortune. That assumption is wrong. There is a genuinely underrated tier of island and coastal destinations, some technically peninsular, some archipelago, some full island nations, where a Western retiree or remote worker can live comfortably, access good healthcare, and build a real life, all for a fraction of what they'd spend back home. And as you'll see, our top pick offers something the others simply cannot match. Keep in mind, the figures presented here are approximations meant to give you a sense of the cost of living. Always verify with up-to-date sources before making any decisions. Without further ado, let's get into the list. Number 12, Chiang Mai, Thailand. Chiang Mai sits in the mountainous north of Thailand, surrounded by jungle-covered hills and dotted with hundreds of Buddhist temples. It's not a beach destination, but its proximity to Thailand's island coast, combined with its own well-developed expat infrastructure, makes it a natural entry point into Southeast Asian life. The climate is tropical, though notably cooler than the south for much of the year. The lifestyle quality here is genuinely hard to beat at the price. World-class private hospitals, an enormous international food scene, fast internet, co-working spaces, and a long-established community of Western retirees all sit comfortably within a monthly budget of around $1,100 all in. Rent for a one-bedroom in the city center runs roughly $350 to $700 per month. For residency, the 2024 Destination Thailand visa opened a much more accessible path. The DTV is a 5-year multi-entry visa requiring $14,000 in savings. For older retirees, the OA retirement visa is available to those 50 and above, with either $24,000 held in a Thai bank account or a pension of around $1,800 per month. On the downside, foreigners cannot own land outright in Thailand. Condos can be owned in a foreigner's name, but land ownership requires corporate structures or long leases. Beyond that, the hot season from March through May brings severe heat and smoke from agricultural burning in the surrounding region. That smoke is a real issue, not a minor inconvenience. Number 11, Cebu and Dumaguete, the Philippines. The Philippines is an archipelago of over 7,000 islands, and Cebu and Dumaguete represent two of its most livable cities for expats. Cebu is the country's second city, modern and well-connected. Dumaguete, to the south, is smaller, quieter, and a genuine favorite among retirees who want beach access without urban noise. Both are warm year-round, with ocean never far away. English is an official language here, which removes one of the biggest friction points for Western expats. Monthly costs land around $1,000 all in for a comfortable lifestyle, with one-bedroom rentals between $350 and $700 per month depending on the city and neighborhood. The Special Resident Retirees Visa, or SRV, is one of the most accessible retirement visas in the world. Available from age 35, it requires a deposit of between $10,000 and $20,000 held in a Philippine bank. That deposit is retained, not consumed, so the capital remains yours. The catch, and it's a meaningful one, is that foreigners cannot own land in the Philippines. Condos are the practical ownership option. Additionally, typhoon season runs from June through November, and infrastructure outside of Metro Manila and central Cebu can be genuinely rough. Number 10, Marrakech and Essaouira, Morocco. Morocco sits at the northwestern tip of Africa, 3 hours by air from most European capitals. Marrakech is vivid, chaotic, and culturally dense. Essaouira, on the Atlantic coast, is cooler, windswept, and considerably more laid back. Together they represent two ends of a spectrum that suits very different expat personalities. Mild winters and a rich culinary and architectural heritage are constants across both. Monthly costs run around $1,000 all in outside the tourist-facing zones. One-bedroom rentals fall between $400 and $750 per month. Property entry-level starts around $80,000 to $200,000. Residency comes via the carte de séjour, an initial 1-year permit that can be renewed and eventually converts to a 10-year card, with proof of income and a clean record required. That said, French or Arabic is essential for navigating daily life outside the tourist core. English is limited in most practical settings. Beyond that, Marrakech's interior heat in summer regularly exceeds 45 degrees Celsius. Essaouira is significantly more temperate, but the wind off the Atlantic is persistent and can grow tiresome. Number 9. Antalya and Fethiye, Turkey. Turkey's Mediterranean coast is one of the most underrated relocation destinations in the world. Antalya is a full city with international airport connections, modern hospitals, and a waterfront that competes with anything in Spain or Italy. Fethiye, further west along the turquoise coast, is smaller and more resort-scaled, but is increasingly popular with longer-term residents. Both deliver Mediterranean weather, fresh seafood, and genuine affordability. Monthly costs come in around $1,000 all in, with one-bedroom rents between $350 and $700. Property can be found from $60,000 to $180,000 at entry level. For investors and those seeking a second passport, Turkey's citizenship by investment program is notably fast. A $400,000 real estate purchase held for 3 years delivers a Turkish passport in roughly 6 months, one of the quickest timelines for any CBI program globally. The honest downside is the Turkish lira. Inflation has been severe, and holding savings in local currency is genuinely risky. Property purchases are typically dollar or euro denominated, which provides some insulation, but day-to-day financial planning requires care. The Turkish passport also carries notably less visa-free access than an EU document. Number 8. Valencia, Spain. Valencia sits on Spain's eastern coast, flanked by the Mediterranean to the east and orange groves inland. It's consistently rated the number 1 city for expats globally by Internations, and the reasons aren't hard to identify. Beach, city, and countryside coexist within a short radius. The food culture, anchored in the birthplace of paella, is serious and affordable. Public health care is excellent. Monthly costs run between $1,500 and $2,200 all in, reflecting its status as a European city with European infrastructure. Rents for a one-bedroom in the center sit at roughly $900 to $1,400 per month. Property entry-level starts around $150,000 to $280,000. Residency options include the non-lucrative visa, which requires passive income of around €2,400 per month, and the digital nomad visa for those working remotely for non-Spanish employers. One recent development worth knowing: Spain closed its golden visa property investment route in 2025. Those who had relied on that pathway need to look at alternatives. Spanish language ability is also noticeably important outside expat-dense neighborhoods. Valencia is more forgiving than smaller towns, but it rewards those who make the effort. Number 7. Montevideo, Uruguay. Uruguay is frequently described as the Switzerland of South America, and the comparison holds up in several important ways. Montevideo, its capital, is orderly, educated, and remarkably safe by regional standards. Uruguay consistently ranks as the safest country in Latin America, with stable institutions and low corruption. The climate runs through 4 genuine seasons, and the Rio de la Plata coastline offers stretches of beach and estuary within easy reach. Monthly costs fall between $1,500 and $2,300 all in. One-bedroom rents run $700 to $1,200 per month. Property starts at around $150,000 to $300,000 at entry level. Residency is available through demonstrated passive income of roughly $1,500 per month, though the requirement is assessed case by case. A significant advantage for new residents is Uruguay's tax holiday on foreign-sourced income, which can run 5 to 10 years. The downside is cost relative to neighbors. Uruguay is noticeably more expensive than Argentina or Brazil, and those expecting South American prices will be recalibrated quickly. Winters in Montevideo are damp, grey, and cooler than many retirees expect from a Latin American capital. The country is also small, which limits domestic travel variety. Number 6. Cluj-Napoca, Romania. Cluj-Napoca is a mid-sized Transylvanian city that most people couldn't locate on a map, which is precisely why it appears on a list of underrated destinations. It's one of Eastern Europe's most significant tech hubs, home to a large university population, and carries an energy noticeably younger and more international than its Eastern European neighbors. Romania is an EU member state, which matters considerably for legal residency, banking, and travel. Monthly costs land between $800 and $1,300 all in, making it one of the most affordable EU member cities on this list. One-bedroom rents sit at $450 to $750 per month. Property entry-level starts at around $80,000 to $160,000. Romania's flat income tax rate of 10% is one of the lowest in the EU. The digital nomad visa requires demonstrable foreign income of €3,950 per month, and a long-stay visa route exists for retirees. Bureaucracy is the honest caveat here. Romanian administrative processes are routinely cited by expats as cumbersome and slow, even by regional standards. Winters are also genuinely harsh, with heavy snowfall and sustained cold from November through March. Number 5. Paphos, Cyprus. Paphos sits on the southwestern tip of Cyprus, a Mediterranean island that was a British colony until 1960 and retains English as a widely spoken language across business, healthcare, and daily life. It's an EU member, uses the euro, and offers year-round warmth backed by over 300 days of sunshine annually. The pace is relaxed, the coastline is accessible, and the expat community, particularly British, is substantial. Monthly costs run between $1,400 and $2,100 all in. One-bedroom rents fall at $700 to $1,100 per month. Property starts at roughly $180,000 to $320,000 at entry level. The permanent residence by investment route requires a €300,000 property purchase combined with proof of at least €50,000 per year in passive income. Cyprus also operates a non-domicile tax regime that can be highly favorable for those with foreign investment income. The political complexity of the island is worth understanding before committing. Northern Cyprus remains under Turkish administration and is not recognized by the EU or most international bodies. This creates a divided island dynamic that affects property rights and movement in ways that require careful legal advice before any purchase. Summers are also notably hot, regularly exceeding 38 degrees Celsius. Number 4. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Puerto Vallarta occupies a dramatic stretch of Mexico's Pacific coast, where the Sierra Madre Mountains meet Banderas Bay. It's one of Mexico's most internationally connected resort cities, with direct flights from dozens of US and Canadian cities. It carries a well-established, welcoming reputation among retirees and the LGBTQ+ community, with a social infrastructure that makes integration genuinely straightforward. Monthly costs land between $1,300 and $2,000 all in. One-bedroom rents run $800 to $1,400 per month. Property starts at $200,000 to $400,000 at entry level. Residency follows Mexico's standard temporary or permanent resident pathways, which are income-based and relatively accessible for those with consistent foreign income. The downside is pricing pressure. High season from November through April draws significant tourist volume, and costs in tourist zone restaurants and services can effectively double. That pricing creep has moved inland over recent years, meaning that genuine budget-friendly pockets require more effort to find. Those willing to live even one neighborhood back from the waterfront find considerably better value. Number 3. Da Nang and Hoi An, Vietnam. Vietnam's central coast is one of Southeast Asia's true bargains, and Da Nang and Hoi An together form what many expats consider the region's most livable pairing. Da Nang is modern, fast-growing, and well-connected. Hoi An, 30 kilometers south, is UNESCO-listed, walkable, and built on a scale that invites slowing down. Infrastructure across both has improved considerably in the past decade. Monthly costs sit between $700 and $1,200 all in, making this one of the most affordable destinations on the entire list. One-bedroom rents fall between $400 and $700 per month. Property at entry level starts at $80,000 to $180,000, though foreigners are limited to 50-year leasehold arrangements rather than outright ownership. The most significant limitation is residency. Vietnam has no formal retirement visa. Long-term stay requires rolling tourist visas of 1 to 3 months, border runs, or conversion to a business or investor visa. Savvy expats have managed this for years, but it requires planning and some tolerance for administrative uncertainty. This is a genuinely wonderful place to live, but the paperwork situation requires creativity. Number 2. Panama City, Panama. Panama City is a proper international city with a skyline that surprises most first-time visitors. It sits at the Pacific entrance to the Panama Canal and operates as a genuine financial and logistics hub for the Americas. Hospitals meet first-world standards. English is widely used in business. And critically, Panama uses the US dollar as its official currency, removing exchange rate risk entirely for American retirees. Monthly costs run $1,500 to $2,300 all in. One-bedroom rents fall at $900 to $1,500 per month. Property starts at $150,000 to $350,000 at entry level. Panama operates a territorial tax system, meaning foreign-sourced income is generally not taxed locally. The Pensionado visa is the headline draw. Requiring just $1,000 per month in pension income, it unlocks one of the most generous retiree benefit packages anywhere in the world. Pensionado holders receive 25% off restaurant bills, 50% off hotels, 25% off airfare, and 20% off medical costs. These discounts are meaningful and sustained, not promotional gestures. The honest caveats: humidity is relentless, and city traffic during peak hours is genuinely severe. The Pensionado discounts also apply only after the visa is granted, not while you're still on tourist status, so the benefit requires commitment. Number 1. Punta Cana and Bávaro, the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic consistently flies under the radar in serious relocation conversations, overshadowed by its reputation as a resort destination. But behind the all-inclusive hotels of Punta Cana and the Bávaro Strip lies a full Caribbean nation with rising infrastructure, direct flight connections from the US, Canada, and Europe, and a residency-to-citizenship timeline that is the fastest in the Americas. Monthly costs run between $1,200 and $1,900 all in. One-bedroom rentals sit at $600 to $1,100 per month. Property entry-level starts at $100,000 to $250,000, noticeably lower than comparable Caribbean markets. Year-round Caribbean climate, warm water, and a genuine community of established expats round out the lifestyle picture. Residency options are straightforward. The Pensionado visa requires $1,500 per month in pension income. The Rentista visa requires $2,000 per month in passive income. From the point of approved residency, the path to citizenship takes roughly 2 years, the fastest conversion in the Western Hemisphere. The honest caveat is the resort zone dynamic. Life within the Punta Cana and Bávaro tourist corridor is comfortable and increasingly international, but it represents a particular version of the Dominican Republic. Stepping outside that corridor reveals a sharply different country with noticeably different infrastructure and services. And hurricane season from June through November is a real meteorological consideration, not merely a footnote. But for those seeking Caribbean living, a clear legal pathway to a second citizenship, low entry-level property costs, and a budget that works without sacrificing comfort, the Dominican Republic earns its place at the top of this list. And there you have it! 12 underrated island and coastal destinations where a genuinely affordable life abroad is within reach in 2025 and beyond, from the mountainous expat hub of Chiang Mai all the way down to the fastest citizenship pathway in the Americas. If you found this useful, consider subscribing. We cover destinations like this every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.